Hello, my name is Luc Morissette, Director of Customer Support for Telco Bridges, and I'm here to show you the Umail script installation on the ProSBC from Telco Bridges. So you can connect here to the wiki pages. So it's docs.telcobridges.com. Once you go here, we have a lot of instructions and details here, but the one I want to show you is SBC use cases. So you click on this and you will see the various use cases we have on the ProSBC. But what I want to show you is the Umail fraud detection one. Here we have a short description on how this works. The ProSBC here sits in the middle. It receives some SIP calls and sends a HTTP request to the Umail server. And the Umail server will return us a response and three different values. If it's 0, we know it's a valid number. So that means we can continue the call. And if it's high risk, value 2, this means it's a fraudulent call. So we will drop the call. Okay. So it's a very simple process, and I will show you how to configure this on the ProSBC. First, you need to have the ProSBC installed. The installation can be done on a bare metal server, on a VMware, OpenStack, and also in the cloud on AWS or Azure. Okay. And you have a link here on the installation guides for installing the SBC. Second thing is you need to make sure you're at version 3.1.113 or later. So to upgrade your system once it is installed, you need to go and download the version, right? And the version will be stored in our download site. So it's download.techbridges.com. And then you have a specific release. In our case, we want to have release 3.1.113. And you can download this file. This is the upgrade package. Once it has been downloaded, you can connect to your ProSBC here, and it depends of your IP address of the management port. Okay. Once you have access to your ProSBC, you can click on package and licenses, upload the package. So you will see the version will be something like this. Okay, so this is the file we downloaded here from this download link. Upload this file. It takes a few minutes to upload. And then once it's uploaded and installed, you can just activate this new version. Activate package. You choose the version. The new one will be 3.1.113. And you can activate it. Okay. Once you activate it, it's going to take a few seconds, and then you'll see here the version 1.1.3 running on your system. Okay. You need to have also a YouMail account to get two things. One is a security ID, and one is the API key. Right. So then to have this, you need to go on YouMail. So you can search in Google for YouMail, or just data.umail.com. And then you can sign in or get a free API key or purchase their service. Okay. So you can go here. Once you get your key, then you will be able to use it in the ProSBC system. So the prerequisites are completed here. You to do the configuration, we did a link here adding the Umail script to your system. So here are the instructions. You have the requirements. We say again 3.1.1.3. We say that the HTTP request will go out from the management interface. So you need to have a external access so that the HTTP request can go out to the Umail server. And you need to have your Umail account like we just mentioned. Okay. Next is you need to download the script. Okay, a routing script. A routing script is an add-on to the system, and it will do different things depending on what is the script. Okay, in our case, it's the YouMail script. Okay? So you can just download it here by clicking on this. It's a very small file like this, and it is actually a zip file. So you need to just unzip it, okay, to get your YouMail script, because it's a .rb, so it's a Ruby script. Okay. Next is you need to upload it on the system, and you can follow the instructions here. So you can look at this if you want. It will tell you how to do it, but I will show you instead on my system. Okay, so my system is here. Just before uploading a new script, you can copy your configuration. So here you see I have my config Umail configuration, but you can just copy your current configuration so that you can keep a backup of it, and you can just change the name as well, so that you know this one has been, we will add the Umail script to this configuration. Okay? So once you've copied it, you can say just configure now, and then you will see it will appear here. Okay. So in your new configuration, you will want to go down here, routing scripts, import script file. You will choose the Umail script from the download folder where you got the file. The script type is not so important, but I usually put customer, and you don't select load on startup. It will be done another way. So you will see here in customer scripts, you will have a script added to your system. It will be called Umail spam risk.rb. The name is important here. You should not modify the name because it is referenced by other applications. Okay. If you continue the instructions, so this is what we did here: import a customized routing script to the system. Then you need to set up your scripts here in your system. So you will have a main script in your system, and depending on your system, it could be different. In my case, it's called Simple Routing SBC. So you can go there and modify the script, but what I prefer to do is to create a new one. Okay? So the way to create a new one will be to go click on this Simple Routing SBC. Just copy, or I can just do this here, copy the content of the script. And then create new script file, put the content here. Okay, so now you will have the content of your script, and I'm just going to remove this one because, of course, I had already done it here. Okay, so, and then your main script, okay, I would call it here main Umail. And you can put that RB here, and this will be a main script. And what is important here is that you will select load on startup here. So now I have two main scripts. One is called main Umail, and one is called simple routing SBC. Both of them right now are exactly the same because I just copied the content. So what I will want to do here first is remove this one so that it's not the one that is will be used in my system. And then in this Umail script, I will add some lines, okay? And what do I need to add? It's explained here on the wiki. Okay, so you need to add these lines. Require Umail spam risk. So you can go here. The require needs to be added with the other requires. You may have more requires here. It's fine. You just add another one here. Then you need to include this here. And it's just after the class here. Okay, so you can just put here. when you play with these things here, the naming convention is important. So you see you have some capital letters, lowercase letters. You need to copy exactly the information. Then you need to copy this part here. And you see here it's an after filter. So the after filter is put usually between the route match and the route remap. Before filter would be put before, after filter will be put in between here. Okay? So now the only thing you need to change here in this system is the SID and the API key. So this is the one you got from the YouMail, right? So you got your API key in YouMail here, and you need to put your information in the script here. Okay, so the key will be a long string that you need to put here. Okay, save this. Okay, go back to the instructions. You see a bit how it would look like in the end. The last thing to do is to add a new route column with this value. Okay, and the value is important, so you can copy it from here. Okay, so the instructions are here, but I'm just going to go in my table. So it's routes here, create new route column. Max spam risk level, integer, default value, 0. Okay, so what will that do? It will create custom attributes in my routing table called max spam risk level. All of them by default will be 0 because that's what we have set in our system. Then you can change some of them, right? So this 0 means that only valid ones will be valid calls will be used. Okay, calls that have been verified. And if you want to have, let's say, for example, a backup route for the calls that did not work, so we can go here, just change the spam risk level to 2. So that means this route here will accept even if the spam risk level is set to 2. So this could be sent to a system that will verify, make sure that like a default place where you may say, well, don't call us, an IVR system, or just another way to do that. But anyway, most of the time you will keep either 0 or maybe some of them would be 1 because it's not so it's not so risky to have level 1s. Okay, but most of them should be level 0 here, and that's it. So then you can go here, system, activate the configuration, and you have your setup that is done. All right, then what we can do is test, and I will do this in a minute because I need to add my API key to the system. So I'll be right back with you. Hey, welcome back. This is the troubleshooting section for the YouMail integration. So once you have configured your YouMail, and of course here I changed my SID and API key so that it can access the YouMail server. Then we can make some test calls or real calls on the system. And where I would start for debugging is here in the call trace, right? And you will see your calls coming into the system here. So if you click on the last call that I just made, you will see something like this, right? So you will see toolbank HTTP query required. So that means the system will do a HTTP query. Then after the response, and you see here the response is like very fast, right? It's about a few hundred milliseconds. And once you get the response here, since I'm using 0 and since the number that was verified is valid, then the call proceeds as normal. If it would have been a bad call, then the call will have been dropped here, and you can see it quickly, right? it will say 603 or 404, so you will get an error here on the call. Here, it's really the outgoing call leg that is refusing the call in my case, right? But it's not the script or the verification by YouMail, okay? So you can see here if the request is made. You can see also if you connect SSH to the device, okay, to the ProSBC, and you can use the TBX CLI Tools remote application. So there's I know there's a wiki page to show you how to use this, but basically you just start this application. Then it gives you a list of applications, but you will choose the one that's called Gateway. Okay, just press enter here. Then with each of the calls that are made, there will be some logs. But in our case, for debugging specifically the script, we need to have trace level 1. Okay, so you need to press capital T and then press 1 here. Capital T, if I just put the help here, capital T. Okay, here, set trace level. Okay. All right, so then we are at trace level 1 here. Once we make the call, if I can just do another call on the system. So you will see some logs being printed out here, and you can go back into the logs and see if the HTTP request was accepted and if you get a response. All right, and you will see something like this: query response, status code, record found. That means Umail found the record, which was this number, and it returned the spam risk level is 0, so this number is not a spam. Okay, and then you can see here that the system is using level 0. Okay, so it needs to have the route column max spam risk level to 0 or 1 or 2, and the call will pass. Okay, so you can see this here. The other way to get to these logs is once you're on the console here, you can do TB setup, go in the gateway directory, because this is where you have the gateway logs, and then you can open up the gateway log here, and you will get the same logs here. If you just go back a little bit, you will see the HTTP query response using spam risk level, and if the query doesn't go, then you won't see these logs here. Okay. If the query doesn't pass, then you can do from this interface here just a curl request. All right, so it will look like this. Let me just open it up a little bit bigger. What I'm missing just a little bit. There you go. Okay, so you just pass this command, like this, and then you change here, instead of SID, you put your security ID and your key here. And this will be the where the HTTP request is sent, and you just change the phone number here for the number you want to verify. All right, so if you do this, then you'll get your response right here. And let me just do this. If I do a real query, where is it? Yeah, so it's not shown super well, but it will be something like this. The response that you will get will be, let me show you here. So in the console, you will get something like this. Status code, record found, phone number, spam risk. This is exactly the same thing as what you saw in the gateway logs. Okay, but here you get it on the console. Okay. So if it cannot, if you don't get the answer here, then you just have to verify is the API key valid and the SID, is it valid? And what the other thing you will need to do is if it cannot, wait, give me a second. If it cannot reach data, maybe it's the DNS that is not configured correctly. So to change the DNS, you can do the command called tb change IP, and then you will be able to select your DNS server, or you can just go in the file cat-etc/resolve.conf, and here you can put the name server or the domain you will use for your DNS server. Okay, so you can just do this. Okay. And I think that's it. So if you can start troubleshooting this, if you get any problems, you cannot find the solution, well, it's a good idea to keep the, well, I can show you also how to set the gateway application to trace level 1 without using the tool. So you can go here in applications, click on gateway, advanced parameters, and select here level 1. So the default is level 4. And then you can just force it to level 1, save this, activate the configuration. Okay, and then all your logs will be at trace level 1. You can do tests on the system. If you still cannot find the problem, you can go here in report, create a new TB report. This will create a snapshot of your configuration and also the latest the call that was made, but also the gateway logs, right? So once you have this file, so you can just download it and send that to our support team, and we can look at that. Okay, so it takes a few seconds to create this file. And I think that's it. So let us know if you find this useful. Thank you very much.